So as you can see from the title of this video, I had a miscarriage, and that happened not too long ago, just a few weeks. And I wanted to talk about it because I think for some women, this can feel really lonely, and it can feel like it was your fault. And I don't want anyone to feel that way. I'm really lucky. I never felt alone. I have a lot of family and a lot of friends who are really supportive. And I have a wonderful husband who is incredible and has been so supportive of me throughout this time. And of course, we've been supportive of each other because it's not just about me, it's about the two of us and what we lost. But I have a lot of friends and a lot of family members who have had miscarriages too. And that helped me realize that I am not alone, and this is so common, and it's something so many women experience. But I do think that more women need to talk about it so that it doesn't feel so lonely. We lost our baby at 12 weeks. It was actually at 10 weeks the baby stopped growing, and at 12 weeks we found out, because you don't get to have ultrasounds every week, so you don't know. And we had seen the heartbeat, and I knew that the miscarriage rate dropped once you've seen your baby's heartbeat, and so I wasn't afraid. So when I did have a miscarriage, it felt like it came out of left field. And I was so not prepared emotionally for that. The first few weeks, yeah, I thought it would happen then, but for it to happen as late as it did for me, in the first trimester still, but I was not prepared for emotionally. And it was really hard, obviously. Thank God I was with my whole family for Passover. So everyone was there, which for me was really, really helpful, and it meant I had a ton of support. I wanted to talk about a few things in this video. I wanted to talk about some things for women who have gone through this or are going through this, and I want to talk to the people who are supporting them. So for the women who are going through this, stop judging your feelings. That's something I've really struggled with. Is I've had feelings all over the place, and my husband has said to me so many times that your feelings, you can feel them, they're okay, and any form that takes. And don't judge something like that. It's an emotional grieving process, and it's something you have to go through, and it's not going to be a straight line. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, was that it comes in waves. I've been okay for a few days, and then I'm crying one night, or I wake up the next day and I'm crying the next day, and it just seems to come out of nowhere. It's not linear. I consider myself a mom, even though I never got to meet my baby. Jacob considers himself a father, even though this happened. And one of the hard things for me has been the understanding that this baby couldn't have survived. It stopped growing on its own. And wanting to look at it logically. But still your child. And that's all okay. All of those feelings are okay. I know that God is watching over us and is watching over our child. And that I can turn to him when I need support, as well as all the people in my life. And I know that that is true for you too. You can always turn to God and to your support systems, and you will find comfort. You are not alone. So many women go through this, and it's not your fault in any way. It's not your fault. It's something that just happens sometimes, and we don't have control over it. For those of you who are supporting someone who's gone through this, I don't want to talk for every woman who's going through it. We all grieve differently. But for me, what was really important was knowing that people were there, but that they didn't need to solve the problem and they didn't need to fill the silence. So just sitting with me and not necessarily saying anything, or just being there and me knowing I could if I wanted call, but that they wouldn't initiate the conversation if I didn't want to talk about it. That was what I needed. I wanted to be in control of when we talked about things, because there were times that I wouldn't be thinking about it, and in those moments I didn't want to think about it. And then there were times that I would be thinking about it and I would want to get things off my chest. But bringing it up to someone when they're not thinking about it, in those brief moments when they're not thinking about it, is always a risk, and I don't think that it's necessarily helpful. Just follow their lead. I think that's the most important, is follow the lead of the person who's going through it. I know that time has been helpful for me, but it isn't ever going to go away. For all of the husbands out there who have gone through this, your pain is also valid and also matters. When Jacob found out that this had happened to us, it was devastating and it breaks my heart. And his feelings are as real as mine. So you also can look for support in the people that you love. And you and your wife and couples need to lean on each other for support. But Jacob and I want a family, and miscarriages are not indicative of other miscarriages. And it's something that there's always a chance it can happen. So I'm looking forward to the child that we do have in the future. And I just feel really lucky that I have God, and that in the time when it was really the hardest for me, I could pray and know that God was still there. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I didn't want to talk about what happened to me in too much detail, but I did want to share that it happened. And if you were wondering why I wasn't on YouTube for a couple of weeks, that's why. I was also sick before that because I was in the first trimester, so that's why I maybe wasn't as consistent either. But that is what I wanted to say. So if I can help even one person, then it was worth making this video. Okay.